Hello, subscribers. My name is Seth Tropical, and today, yes, Clash of Clans is back. Sorry for not uploading for a long while. We had a whole bunch of stuff to do. And yeah, but Clash of Clans back. I'm not used to recording now because I haven't uploaded it in a while. Like literally 4 days and no videos have came out. I'm gonna try and shove 4 videos up today. If not, but yeah, back. As you can see, my base is big and beefy. And I have built up a really strong strategy called blocks, where you train 4 wall breakers and 62 barbarians. Okay, for the strategy by blocks. Okay, a thin layer of barbarians and a wall breaker. Go! And now a thin layer of barbarians, and then a wall breaker. A thin layer of barbarians and a wall breaker. Right? Wall breaker. A thin layer of barbarians and a wall breaker. This strategy works really well, guys. I think this strategy works really well. I haven't really tested it at all. Two-star. The main strategies I use, guys, is barracks and blocks. But by the way, guys, I'm the one who made up the strategy blocks. Which I like to call it bricks. The 2-star. And 22,000 gold. And yes, as you can see, I'm trying to save up gems. Yes, I have a gem mine now. Yes, I don't think I ever recorded this in my Clash of Clans history. Like this nighttime thing. Like seriously, this nighttime thing, I think I've never recorded in my channel's history. I don't remember. Cannon. Don't! Dumbos. Ah. Yeah, my new base sucks, guys. No joke, my new base sucks. What did my... Yeah, guys, from the clan I'm in right now, I keep getting spam. Little spam. And yes, I'm not. And yes, I'm not like sponsored by Supercell or anything, which I so wish I was. It's good. Should I start the process in my tunnel? I mean, actually, yeah, town hall. Screw it. Ah! But yeah, sorry for not uploading. Fucking fly. You can see it right there. Ugh, fucking fly. Yes, we got those now. We got those. Is it fine if I saw your face on the recording?
Just aside. Just aside. Bloody good.
But yeah, that's Paul's face. Should I get my face?
Bloody good. It's up to you.
I mean, I saw my face a couple times on YouTube, so.
You can't shake the phone all over the bloody place.
Oh, yeah.
Face it all
I
over.
forgot you gotta move it to lower. But yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't move it all. You gotta keep.
Would this make it better for your camera?
Should be good at 3:30.
Yeah, we're gonna be getting guests again, guys.
Right there, home therapist.
In 3 hours?
3:30 at 3:30.
And right now it's 1, so in 2 hours and a half. Yes, subscribers, our refrigerator is crappy. Crappy, crappy, crappy. It's a tiny fridge and it's crappy, crappy, crappy. Sorry, guys. After not recording for a while, I've literally gone insane. I don't know if you like the Clash Clans series, but it was actually fun for me to record on YouTube, so I'm going to keep it on. Paul? 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 Tell Kelly I'm recording a stream.
Okay.
Actually, I'm just going to tell her myself.
Don't read it. She'll see it.
Well, she doesn't go on time before I end it. What makes her is it? Guys, I'm on Messenger. My phone's too slow. Can you? Hello. Okay. Ah. Yes, subscribers have a spike somewhere. I accidentally set up a spike trap and I don't remember where. I set up the spike trap to try and kill the bear that is always around here, like the brown bear. Oh, someone's on my live stream, but yeah, I set up a spike pit. I don't remember where because, yeah, somewhere over there because, and yeah, I don't remember where it is because I was trying to kill the bear. We literally get a brown bear or a black bear around here. Whatever it is, it's killing our crops. It's literally eating all of our crops. So I set up a spike trap trying to kill it, and now I don't remember where my spike trap is. Message is weird. Sorry if you heard that. Sorry if you hear that, guys. It's this messenger doing its thing, being annoying, trying to cover your screen with a bunch of spam. Literally, all messenger wants to do is cover your screen with a bunch of spam. And yes, my iPod's turning on. Actually, why am I turning on Jacob's iPod, for God's sake? Sorry about that, guys. Meow, meow, meow. But for you subscribers that like liberty, I'm gonna do something. For you who like liberty. Probably not many of you like liberty. But for those who do like liberty, I'm gonna do something. Army men melting. Yes, my iPod is kind of trashy on YouTube because it's slow. This is for the people who love liberty, like liberty.
Those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed. The bitterness of men will clear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die. The power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you and slay you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men, with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. The kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people,
Yeah, viewer, if you like liberty, say it down in the comments. If you two viewers like liberty, for those viewers that see this video that like liberty, I'm gonna do something for those who like liberty. Literally. This. No, I did not make this one video. I'm probably gonna get copyright.
Do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed. The bitterness of men fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die.
But yeah, this is for the people who like liberty.
Return to the people, and so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men, with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. The 17th chapter of St. Luke is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man, nor a group of men, but in all men, in you, the people, have the power.
I'm gonna try one more time, but yeah, for you viewers who like liberty, yeah, but for you viewers who like liberty, here. Every time I do that, too.
You can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing.
It's like the person who keeps getting on this live stream doesn't like liberty.
Men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men, with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. The 17th chapter of St. Luke is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man, nor a group of men, but in all men, in you, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite.
But yeah, that's for people who like liberty. I'm probably now gonna get copyright though. Let's hope I don't. God. But yes, because I'm really bored. I don't know what to do. Bro, I love you.
Tsunamis are some of the most powerful and deadliest forces of nature.
Yep.
Within recent memory, you may recall both the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami and 2011 Japan tsunami, both of which resulted in catastrophic damage and loss of life. The Indian Ocean tsunami happened after a massive earthquake struck here in the Indian Ocean. The earthquake itself released more energy than every single explosive detonated in the entire Second World War, including the nuclear bombs. This enormous amount of energy created a tsunami that reached heights of 30 meters high in some places, or about the height of 17 people stacked on top of each other. The waves smashed into Indonesia, South Asia, and the east coast of Africa, punching as deep as 2 kilometers inland from the coast in some places. As you can see from photos like this one, the damage in these places was often extensive. The tragedy claimed the lives of around 250,000 people, making it the deadliest tsunami in all of history, while the 2011 Japan tsunami was the costliest in terms of damage. That tsunami was also generated by an earthquake that created waves as high as 40.5 meters, just about 5 meters shorter than the Statue of Liberty, that came slamming into the Japanese east coast, traveling up to 10 kilometers inland away from the coast. As you can see from photos like this that look like something straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster, with what used to be a road stretching out into the endless ocean, the economic cost to Japan was enormous. An estimated $300 billion in damages was done, more than the entire GDP of South Africa. But these are what are called regular tsunamis, and there is an entire other class of gigantic waves that are simply called mega tsunamis. Unlike a regular tsunami that is created by an earthquake, a mega tsunami is usually created when a massive amount of material suddenly falls into water, which displaces that water into a huge wave. The most tragic and possibly terrifying instance of this happening in recent times was back in 1963 here in Italy, just 100 kilometers north of Venice. The Italian government and a construction company were building what at the time was going to be the largest dam on Earth. The only problem was that they were building this dam with a huge water reservoir the size of a large lake right next to one of the most unstable mountains on the planet. For months leading up to the completion of the dam, there were several minor landslides and other signs that there could be a catastrophe coming, but rather than heed the numerous warning signs, the Italian government actually decided to sue the few journalists reporting on the issue for, quote, undermining the social order. The government and company continued to ignore all the warning signs until it was obvious that the mountain was actually going to collapse directly into the dam's reservoir. The engineers calculated the landslide that would likely occur, lowered the water in the reservoir to what they believed was a safe level, and then actually stood on top of the dam the night that they expected the landslide to occur to watch it all go down. The only problem was, the landslide ended up being over 10 times more powerful than what their calculations had predicted. This is a view of that mountain today. This right here used to be the reservoir, and all the land that's there now came crashing off the mountain from these areas that are now exposed white rock. This tremendous amount of earth and rock fell into the reservoir in a matter of seconds, completely filled the entire reservoir, and generated a wave 250 meters high that flew over the top of the dam and into the villages below. The wave was almost the same height as the Transamerica building in San Francisco for some reference, and caused an impact crater 60 meters deep and 80 meters wide when it slammed into the ground on the other side of the dam. If you were standing from this angle looking up at the dam at the exact moment that the wave came over it, the entire sky that you see in this picture would be completely covered by water. This photo was taken in the town of Longarone, which before the mega tsunami looked like this, but afterwards looked like this, completely destroyed. Around 2,000 people lost their lives in the accident, but it's not actually the largest mega tsunami even in recent history. That distinction would have to go to a mega tsunami that happened here in Lituya Bay, Alaska back in 1958. A powerful earthquake caused a massive landslide to occur here at the backside of the bay. The huge amount of land that came crashing into the bay created a titanic wave 525 meters high that slammed into this part of the bay, completely went over it and smashed into the other side here, causing huge amounts of damage to the rest of the bay and destroying millions of trees. The height of this wave was over 100 meters higher than the tip of the Empire State Building, and just 16 meters short of the recently built One World Trade Center in New York City. But even this is tiny in comparison to some prehistoric mega tsunamis. The largest tsunami generated from a landslide happened around 1.5 million years ago in Hawaii, on the Pacific island of Molokai. At some point around that time, about 1/3 of the northern portion of the volcano collapsed into the ocean and generated a wave 600 meters high, which would have completely inundated the entire island of Molokai and wreaked havoc on the rest of the island chain. This wave would have been about the height of 4 Great Pyramids of Giza stacked on top of each other, but even that pales in comparison to the largest ever known mega tsunami, which was caused by an asteroid. About 66 million years ago, the same asteroid that likely killed the dinosaurs also caused possibly the largest mega tsunami in all of Earth's history when it crashed into the modern-day Gulf of Mexico. The asteroid was 10 kilometers in diameter and released an unbelievable 100 teratons of TNT worth of energy. For comparison, the Tsar Bomba, which is the largest nuclear bomb ever detonated, released only 1/2 millionth of that same amount of energy. You would need 2 million Tsar bombs to release this same amount of energy, which caused an equally unbelievable wave of up to 5 kilometers high that would have smashed into the Gulf Coast states of the modern-day United States. That's higher than the Matterhorn in the Alps, by about 500 extra meters. In fact, the height is higher than all of the mountains in the entire Alpine mountain range. These waves were so big that if they were to have happened in the Indian Ocean, the entire island of Madagascar would have been completely submerged underwater for a time. Imagine being on an island the size of Madagascar in this scenario, with absolutely no escape from the clutches of the ocean's waves, no matter how high on the land that you can get to. It's a weird thought, but at least it happened 66 million years ago, and there's really no fear of something like that ever happening again, right? Unless the 0.00001% chance of one of the Canary Islands collapsing into the ocean during your lifetime happens, which would cause a tsunami about 1 kilometer high and would probably wipe out the entire east coast of the United States. Unless that happens, then no, probably not. But it's still fun to think about. This video has been brought to you by Audible.com, with over 180,000 audiobooks in almost every genre you can imagine. You can get a free 30-day trial today by going to audible.com/reallifelore. You can get a completely free...
Well,
Open
Gonna
your
it.
jitters.
What?
We take a deep
breath.
breath. And stand together. Courage. We have a fragrance for that. Glade.
This video is made possible by Skillshare, home to over 17,000...
Why is everyone
life skill
advertising
and a new way to
Skillshare?
experience what feels like
Sup?
blow up on purpose.
Sup?
Adventure in knowing that death... The track flattens out and begins the first of 7 inversions in a row, and this is the deadly part. It would take 60 seconds for the train to go through all 7 of these inversions, and each inversion gradually gets a smaller and smaller diameter in order to maintain 10 Gs of force to all the passengers during the entire 60-second experience. To understand just how much of a force that really is, here's a little bit of further context. If you're standing on the surface at sea level, then you're currently experiencing about 1 G of force. If you accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.4 seconds in a Bugatti Veyron, you'd experience 1.55 Gs. If you were on a space shuttle during launch, you'd experience 3 Gs. Driving a Formula 1 car around a sharp lateral turn would give you a taste of 6.5 Gs. And even the astronauts aboard Apollo 11 during re-entry with Earth's atmosphere only experienced a force of 7.19 Gs. So here's what would happen to you experiencing 10 Gs for 60 seconds flying through the inversions on this death coaster. You would gradually begin experiencing worsening cases of cerebral hypoxia, meaning that your blood would rush to the lower parts of your body, and so your brain wouldn't be getting enough oxygen to survive. The first thing that you would notice is your vision graying out, which would then gradually turn into tunnel vision. From there, you would begin experiencing a blackout, and ultimately, you would eventually lose consciousness and die. While it sounds extremely morbid, Ioannis Sarbonis designed the euthanasia coaster for exactly what its name implies: euthanasia. While undoubtedly a madman, he designed the coaster with the intent to give people with horrifically painful diseases or incurable conditions the ability to end their lives with a painless and euphoric experience. Some exceptionally robust people may even be able to survive the entire experience, which would undoubtedly leave a lasting memory. But either way, this is one ride that you'll probably never be able to experience. The euthanasia coaster has always just been an art concept, and a testament to the lengths of human imagination, where it should probably remain. If you want to learn how to design your own crazy roller coaster, you'll need to know how to draw a blueprint, which you can learn in courses like this one on Skillshare.com. As you've heard before on this channel,
Skillshare sucks! I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm just gonna tell the people advertising Skillshare.
Welcome back to Top 5 Central. Today we're going to be looking at the top 10 roller coasters you won't believe exist. To be 100% real with you guys, I've been loving this series as it's super fun to make, so I seriously hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Tomorrow I'll be announcing the giveaway winners because this week's giveaway ends tomorrow. With that said, make sure you're subscribed and comment your favorite spot on our list and enter to win a free Amazon gift card. I also want to say thank you so much to Bonnie Plush for suggesting this video. If you want a shout out just like Bonnie, make sure to like the video right now and comment what you want to see in next week's episode. If we can get 5,000 likes on this video, I'll continue shouting people out next week. Anyways, with that said, let's get right into the video. Number 10. The Gravity Max is a tilt coaster based in Taiwan, and if you want to give it a ride, you might want to bring a spare pair of underwear along with you. Most coasters start from a stationary position and are then lifted up a slope by a chain lift. So what that means is you pretty much know what you're getting up to and have time to prepare yourself for the eventual drop. Things are a little bit different with the Gravity Max though. The platform you end up on basically tilts forward until it angles the coaster and its occupants at a 90-degree angle before dropping the coaster into a free fall down a long tunnel in a single loop and a couple of bank turns. So the coaster itself isn't really that impressive. The only super scary moment is that tilt at the start, which is pretty damn terrifying either way.
Would you get the other sandwich, please?
Alrighty, we're doing this. We're here on Gravity Max at Leap. Number 9. The Wicked Twister is an angling coaster, which means that you're sitting in a chair with your legs dangling freely beneath you instead of being in a completely enclosed coaster car. So not only is the Wicked Twister a dangler, it's supposedly the tallest and fastest dangling coaster in the world. It's not long like some of the coasters we've got on this list, but it is pretty terrifying. Powered by electromagnetics that send pulses of energy into the coaster, it flings riders up a long twisting spike, which then allows them to fall back down again and then go back up a second spike backwards. So yeah, expect to pee your pants.
All of a sudden, it's just like, boom, you're off. You go up and you're like, whoa, what just happened?
What just happened is linear induction. A long chain of electromagnets laid along the track fire energy in rapid succession, pulling and pushing the coaster down the rails, quickly building speed with every push-pull combination. Number 8. The Ultra Twister is a coaster from Spa Land in Nagashima, Japan, and if you ride it, be prepared to get dizzy. This coaster goes backwards and forwards through a chain of never-ending spins. The ride moves at a total of 44 miles per hour and only lasts around a minute and 20 seconds. But in that time, riders are flung through 3 complete inversions, 2 of which are experienced backwards after a 90-degree vertical climb and an 86-degree drop. So to put that into basic terms, you're gonna get really dizzy really quickly. Number 7. The Slingshot is another Cedar Point ride. Opened in 2014, the Slingshot is less coaster and more, well, a gigantic slingshot. 2 riders are tied into a chair that has 2 elastic cables attached to it, and those elastic cables are actually attached to 72-meter tall spikes. When the riders are properly strapped in the capsule, it's launched up to 110 meters in the air at around 62 miles an hour, and you basically bounce up and down until it comes to a stop. This ride is literally 2 pieces of string attached to 2 really tall towers and a ball for people to sit in, and it's pretty freaking sweet. Now if you didn't know, I absolutely hate any sort of ride, whether it be a roller coaster or just a slingshot thing like what we have here. All of you are absolutely
Okay. What do you want? You want your box on?
Yes. What I already eat my burger.
Oh, did you last night? Oh, you did last night. Yeah. Yeah, you did.
Oh.
Footage. His channel is full of this type of junk.
My regular hand.
check it out, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching. So I live here, and I took a plane to Kevin's pool way over here. So I'm here today in Florida filming with Kevin, more commonly known as the Backyard Scientist. That's right. And today we're going to take these 2 live grenades and we're going to be dipping them in this tub of liquid nitrogen. So go ahead and hand them to me. And then, dude, baby alligator. Except I'm on land with a grenade on land, and Kevin is in the water with a grenade in the water. So the question is, which one of us has a better chance of survival? Take a moment to decide. Do you dive on the pool deck or jump in the pool? We both had very different theories for survival, so as firm believers in the scientific method, we decided to test out our hypotheses. So we devised some experiments, but before I get to those, I think it's important to understand how a grenade actually works. So once you pull the pin, as long as you keep this handle pushed down, you're perfectly safe. But as soon as you let go of the grenade, this handle springs off, which releases a spring-loaded striker that hits a percussion cap that starts a 5-second fuse that you can't do anything to stop. And I never really thought about it until I made this video, but the reason you see a waffle pattern in grenades is to create weak points in the shell, so that's where it's going to break first. And since there are 40 bumps, this grenade is basically an explosion that shoots 40 bullets in all directions. In warfare, that's what makes them lethal. So the best strategy is to get as far as possible in a few seconds and then hit the deck with your feet facing towards the grenade. This presents the smallest possible target for a flying grenade chunk to hit. So 15 feet away, mathematically.
What happens if the grenade chunk hits you in the nuts? You idiot.
That puts my chances of getting hit at less than 1%. But things are even better for Kevin in the pool. It's been well documented that bullets do not travel far in water at all. The drag force is so high, they just disintegrate after a few feet. So he has a 0% chance of getting injured by a grenade fragment in the water. But we are thorough men of science, and we wanted more information. So we designed an experiment where we filled 3 balloons, half with water and half with air, to roughly mimic the human body, which is mostly water, but we have pockets of air in our lungs, intestines, in our sinuses, and our ears. And then we subjected them to identical explosions, identical distances apart in both air and water. As you can see, there isn't much effect on land because air is compressible, which helps dissipate energy, plus the blast wave reflects around objects. But in water, the story is different. Water is incompressible, which means not only is the blast wave not dissipated, but it passes right through your mostly water body. So the air in these balloons represents the air in your body, like your lungs and your sinuses. So basically what's happening is the blast wave is pushing in on you, but the air cavities can't push back with the same force since they're filled with compressible air. That means they move a lot, really quickly, which causes permanent damage. As a control, you could see this balloon that is filled with just water. It is perfectly fine. That would be like your arms and legs, which have no air in them, and they are basically incompressible like water and would be fine. An explosion underwater is sort of like the silver ball thing. So this represents the initial energy of the blast, which then comes down and passes through the incompressible water and then comes out without losing any energy at the water surface. But now your squishable lungs are surrounded by incompressible water in the path of the blast wave. And so when the blast happens, there's a lot of relative motion, which is bad if you like your lungs the way they are right now.
I'm gonna end the video. Bye. I'm gonna end this video and I'll see all you people in the next video. Bye. End. The thing doesn't want to end.
Head slow.